Hello and welcome back to WCS Broadcasting. And here we are today on this Friday night going to commentate the Wichita Collegiate Spartans versus the Concordia Panthers. Interesting matchup we got up here tonight. Concordia hasn't been elite so far this year. Spartans have been with only one loss on the season, but we'll see how it plays out tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of things to look forward to here in this first game of the postseason. Definitely from Collegiate are some things that we're definitely going to want to see from. Obviously, Concordia has not quite had as stunning as a season as Collegiate, but it still promises to be a very good game. There's a couple things I personally want to see from Collegiate tonight. I would love to see them start out a little bit quicker, a little bit harder in the first quarter here. Something we've seen a lot from Collegiate so far this season is the fact that it's close until it isn't. And when it gets into those more competitive games, it really can't be that close for so long. It almost seems like Collegiate has been waiting just for one amazing play to kind of kickstart their dominant playing. And it works for them in games where they kind of just outclass the other team. But when it gets into more competitive games, like in the further into the postseason, we're really going to want to see Collegiate kind of starting off and shoring up that bit a little bit. And this is just a great game to do it. I think it just is going to promise to be a great game all around for the Collegiate Spartans. Avi, you have anything to add?
I agree, but I think also focusing on this matchup tonight, I think that the Collegiate Spartans should go do away with Concordia tonight. Concordia comes into the game 2-6, with some brutal losses to teams such as Chapman, who we beat 41-6 early on in the season, who they lost to 14-13. So I think the Spartans should have an easy path here past the first round in the round of 32, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I do think this is an interesting first matchup. Collegiate has steamrolled everyone except Andale, and they do have Andale coming up about 2, 3, 4 rounds from now. So we'll see how they deal with them now and how they're going to prep for that game. And I think this is a great first start for the first round of the playoffs for the Spartans. I mean, they are playing a 2-6 team at home with the crowd, and there are a lot of Halloween costumes in the crowd, so I think this is a great game for Collegiate to get back on track.
And as you said, looking forward to Andale in Week 3. Next week, we expect to play Rock Creek, who just took on Concordia last week, winning 43-7. And so this will almost be a message to see where the two teams are at and to compare for Week 2 of the playoffs.
Absolutely.
We are about 30 seconds-ish away from kickoff. Both teams in the huddle, hyped for the first round of the playoffs. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. If there's anything Collegiate's good at, it's getting the crowd hype, getting us hype up here right before a good game. Last week, we were absolutely getting hype up here in the box. After a stunning game by Collegiate kind of later on, hoping for another amazing performance here today.
And Collegiate will be receiving the ball. Concordia has elected to get the ball after halftime. Julian Johnson and Harrison Simon back to return for Collegiate. Number 16, Parker Jackson for the Concordia Panthers, and he boots it away. Oh, and it is a low kick. It didn't even get off the ground, and Collegiate's going to get the ball at the 40. Great starting field position. It was number 6, Hayden Anderson, who fielded the kickoff and took it all the way to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, this is where this strong start comes off for Collegiate. This kind of just if we can see how Collegiate has improved in this last week, how they're getting ready to head into this postseason.
Ferrales Under center, little motion, and a handoff to Julian Johnson. Bounces to the outside. He has great speed. Julian Johnson's going to get the first down and more. Julian Johnson all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Oh, Julian Johnson always impressing us up here in the box, darting around defenders, stiff-arming a few. They really had no answer for him right there. Great first play of the game.
And I thought that was a great call from the offensive coordinator. I mean, he had the tight end move in motion to set up the key block that allowed him to get to the outside. Johnson again in with, again, your starting receivers for Collegiate: Hines, Turner, Shackelford, and Weta. Ferrales under center, takes the snap, throws. James Shackelford gets around one defender. Oh, jukes another man, and he's in for the touchdown.
Wow. Great crosser out there from James Shackelford, going right through the middle.
Oh, wow. 1 touchdown, 2 plays into the game. Absolutely incredible. Incredible work by James Shackelford there. Once again, we just saw superior speed. The defenders, they had no chance. No chance from the get-go. Amazing play.
Yeah, and Ferrales really read the defense so well there. I mean, he understood where the zones were and hit James Shackelford perfectly.
You know, I think that first drive is going to dictate how the night goes. I think that they want to send a message to Rock Creek.
Yeah, and we'll see how Concordia, 2-6, I mean, they do not want to get off to a slow start and get behind fast, because getting down against this Collegiate team is bad. And it's been shown multiple times over the course of this season that they can wear you out and they can beat you with the big plays. So we'll see how Concordia handles it. And freshman Nathaniel Toon is off for the kickoff for Collegiate, and he boots it away. Oh, it is a good kick. And it is fielded around the 15, taken. Oh, he breaks a tackle, gets a little bit upfield on the right side, and will get all the way up to the 26-yard line.
You know, looked like an interesting broken tackle there. We saw Jacob Chappell darting down that sideline like he always does. He's always a great man on the kick return, or on the kickoff. But right there, he was just burst through.
Oh, yeah, we love to talk about Jacob Chappell's power up here at CSPN. Always one to just take those aggressive, awesome tackles more than any other player at Wichita Collegiate, and that's for sure.
Braden Primo, the starter for Concordia, and it was a fake and a handoff, and what just happened? He got nowhere, that's for sure. A little trickery there from Concordia, but to no avail.
They tried to do a read option there, but Mason Eichmann brought down immediately by Asa Ahmad. Just a great play.
Oh, yeah. Against these trick running plays, Collegiate defense is just going to have a field day. You know, they're used to coming against these really strong teams, really strong running plays, and especially against teams like Andale, a team like this is going to get shut out by Collegiate defense.
And Primo hands off, and it goes absolutely nowhere. 2 run plays in a row, both stopped for 0 yards.
Not a great start for Concordia here. Looking to be kind of what you predicted, Avi. A great game for Collegiate here. Definitely going to be a tough one for Concordia if what we've seen so far continues to hold true.
That was number 9, Caleb Hansen, with the carry for Concordia.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you here, Aiden. And I think this is a big down right here. 3rd and 12 on the first drive immediately as Collegiate put up points on the board 2 plays into their drive.
Rush Leduc, wide receiver for Concordia, out on the outside. Primo, and a flag flies. The play is stopped. And Concordia's moving back 5 yards. False. Oh, a delay of game for Concordia.
You know, I still think that they were trying to get a playoff there. I mean, the quarterback didn't seem to know exactly what was happening in that play. He faked a handoff to the wrong side of the field. I mean, we'll see what happens here on a 3rd and 17.
3rd and 17. Primo rolls out to the left. Primo, and he is taken down by Jacob Chappell.
Jacob Chappell with a great tackle there.
Wow, we love to see Jacob Chappell just absolutely getting behind the line, destroying them again. Now putting Concordia in a really, really tough position with no yards gained so far in this game. It is now 4th and about 17 to go, making it pretty much 4th and impossible.
This could be bad for Concordia. I mean, Brett Wetta, we know how dangerous he is lined up at the 40 to receive the punt. Oh, and it's low. Wetta takes it. You know how speedy he is. Gets to the 50 on the outside. We'll get about to the 45-yard line. And once again, Hudson Ferrales is given pristine field position to make the game 14-0.
Yeah, and a great stiff arm there by Brett Wetta. So I'm putting him down in the ground.
Oh, yeah. You know, collegiate, some of the things we kind of mentioned in the past is things they didn't necessarily struggle with, but just things that kind of were outshined by their other great strengths was kind of their ability to break tackles, make tackles, stuff like that. But they are really making us eat our words so far here in this game.
Jim Shackelford, Heinz Turner out on the outside. It's a screen to Heinz Turner. Heinz Turner gets about 6 yards all the way up to about the 37-yard line. It'll be about 2nd and 3.
Yeah, you know, when you can really rely on your other players' strengths, especially from big guys like Sebastian Heinz Turner and, you know, other players, Julian Johnson, who has both good strength and incredible speed, it's really easy to use those screen plays here, especially in a matchup like this.
Julian Johnson, the halfback, he's given the handoff. Oh, he runs a little bit backwards, but he's too fast for the defender. Gets a nice little stiff arm. Julian Johnson gets the first down.
Man, great job breaking tackles and running past defenders there. Julian Johnson made it to the outside and hit a break to get the first down there.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Wow, that if it wasn't for Julian Johnson's speed right there, that was looking to be a horrible play for Collegiate, putting them in negative yardage. But he just broke 3 tackles right there, dodging around defenders.
Yeah, he was being chased by Tracer Murdoch, number 77 on the Concordia defense, about 5 yards in the backfield, and still managed to get around him.
And Ferrales drops back, looking, scrambling, rolls out right, and he will hit Heinz Turner, who dropped the ball. That was going to be about a 6-yard pickup, and when he would have been shoved out of bounds, but nonetheless, a bad drop. But Heinz Turner, we know his talent. He'll get it together.
Tough play right there. Also by Hudson Ferrales. Couldn't quite see any of his players open. Almost got hit with the sack, but managed to scramble out from the defender's reach. That might have just been a mishap, though. We really don't know. You know, plays like that happen. First play of the game so far already with no yardage gained.
Harrison Simon is in. Oh, and that was a nice curl route from Heinz Turner, already redeeming himself. He got 15 yards and the first down all the way down to the 20-yard line. And red zone offense for the Spartans has been a strength this year, so we'll see how they do it this time.
Yeah, Collegiate already in kind of closing in on the Concordia red zone. Once again, not looking good. Only about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this quarter.
As Ferrales drops back, fires. Oh, it went out of James Shackelford's hands and intercepted. Wow. And a nice hit there from Harrison Simon to drop him at the 5. It was a little bit of a high ball, went through Shackelford's hands, and it was picked off. Drew Sterrett with the pick.
God, you know, we've seen James Shackelford. We know that he likes some of those high balls, but And, I mean, generally, he always goes up there for the catch. But right there was no one around him. You can hit him straight in the chest and let him turn around and run to the end zone.
Great play from Stara. I think the ball was actually tipped a little bit when it went through James's hands. So I think that was a nice play for him to track the ball. As Primo hands it off. Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, he got
Broke
free.
through.
Oh,
But Jack Grace with a great pursuit there.
Jack Grace.
Saving the play right there. Down at the collegiate 40. Huge run there.
Wow, if it was not for Jack Grace right there, that would have been a horrible position for collegiate right there, probably resulting in a Concordia touchdown. Luckily, stopped him at the 40 for a gain of almost 50 yards.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Caleb Hansen if that keeps happening. So Collegiate needs to keep him in check and force Primo to throw the ball, actually. But the same formation is kept by Concordia. A handoff, and he's going to get bottled up for no gain. Yeah, that was not Hansen. That was number 25, Drew Starrett, the guy who made the interception.
Gosh. We saw the linebackers drop down there really nicely. We saw Jacob Chappell and Asa Ahmad there in for the tackle, along with Marcus Gorgeous on help side defense.
2nd and 10 from the 40. And another run formation coming up for Concordia. Primo, a handoff to, he
Wow,
got free
that's
again.
the second time where that play has
Number
worked.
24, Mason Elkman. He gets all the way down to about the 7-yard line.
God, that was a great run there.
The 10-yard line.
James Shackelford coming down for the grab. Those safeties are barely keeping us in the game right there on defense.
That is the second time that route has worked for Concordia. Really just unexpected here again. I mean, that run route right down the center, it feels like Collegiate was not even expecting them to go that way.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Another run play, again to Mason Elkman, who this time only gained about 3. But the Collegiate run defense has actually been one of the strengths this year.
Yeah, and coming into this game, Collegiate expected this formation a lot throughout the year. I mean, they knew what Concordia was going to run coming into the game. But Collegiate looked at it. They said that they were built kind of like a Trinity team, according to Hudson Ferrales and James Shackelford. They were heavy run. They had a better O-line, and that's what they planned to do with a lot of trickery.
Collegiate crowd getting loud. Concordia in the red zone at about the 8-yard line. And another run play. And this time he is bottled up by 2 defenders.
Asa Ahmad again with a huge tackle there. Gibby Gibson jumping on in too.
Already seeing some anger from the Collegiate defensive line, some late pushes, no flags on the play, but already you can see from up here some words being exchanged for sure.
That was Cooper Brown with the stop there. It is 3rd and 7. Will Concordia actually run the ball? I mean, 3rd and long situations, we don't usually see teams run the ball, but...
With how successful they've been so far.
And, it is a pass. And he's wide open. Mason Elkman, the running back, who went off on this drive, gets the receiving touchdown.
Wow, really quieted down the Collegiate crowd almost immediately. Collegiate going into this game really wasn't expecting any passing plays from Concordia, pretty much entirely running plays, and it just took them completely by surprise.
But you think that they'd be watching Eichmann right there, as he's been the star running down this field. I mean, he was wide open on that flat route.
Yeah, I mean, a 14-point swing like that, not making it 14-0, and then allowing a touchdown, and a flag is thrown. Jacob Chappell may have jumped.
Almost blocked by Jacob Chappell, as we saw that blocking line collapse for Concordia, but we'll see what this flag is for.
Yeah, like we were saying, I mean, Collegiate wasn't expecting this type of run game. I mean, they knew the run was coming, but it has gashed them on defense. So we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, it almost seems like Collegiate's been taken a little bit by surprise here. Some successful runs and successful passing plays that just almost seemed like mental errors, less than great playing by Concordia. Obviously Concordia, great players, but here comes what the results of the flag.
It was a running into the kicker on Jacob Chappell, which means Concordia will get to boot the ball if they enforce that on the kickoff.
All they can do is enforce it on the kickoff. So the kick will be moved up to about the 40-yard line.
Wow, Collegiate, really strong start here, kind of getting slowed down, swamped up here by Concordia's team. Really good job, seeing some motion from them. Oh,
it has been moved up to the 45-yard line. They could boot this really deep as, again, Parker Jackson, the one to kick it away. Oh, it's a low kick again. It was bobbled, but... Oh, he fumbled it!
Gosh.
Collegiate did get the ball back. That could have been bad.
Yeah. And we saw Hayden Anderson right there bobble it, but he picked it up and he dove down. It was a close call for the Collegiate special teams.
Yeah, kind of hard to see from up here. He took a really hard hit, kind of diving to the ground to gather that ball, putting Collegiate in a really not great spot to start off this push.
Yep, at the 30-yard line, 5:15 left in the first quarter, all tied at 7. We'll see how the Collegiate offense responds because they usually haven't been faced with adversity early outside of this Andale game. So we'll see what the offense can do.
I think we've seen a lot of early mistakes here by Collegiate. This is kind of where they struggle the most in their games. They've always been able to make it happen when it counts, but they're really just struggling here.
As a handoff to Julian Johnson goes for 5 yards.
And, I was just about to mention, usually what Collegiate wants to do here is hand it off to their trustworthy and consistent running back here, Julian Johnson, always one to gather consistent yards using his speed and power, kind of giving the Collegiate offense time to reset with long, powerful passing plays. He's almost like the leg of a stool for Collegiate offense.
Oh, and Julian Johnson, what a run. He'll get 6 yards and the first down all the way up to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there. But to go back to what you were saying, I think Collegiate has faced a lot of adversity in the first quarters of games generally. I mean, most of their games have been tight, especially when we played Heston not too long ago last week here. I mean, we were down in that first quarter pretty badly, and we did not look like we were in good shape. And they brought it to about a tie at halftime and then really ran away with it in the second half.
Harrison Simon in at running back here for Collegiate. As Ferrales drops back, fires to Heinz Turner, who makes a really good grab and will get about 7 or 8 yards.
Looks like a low pass there, kind of forcing him to go down on the ball before the defender could get to him. Really just good play, good pass, just not kind of the typical standard we see Collegiate holding to in later parts of the game once again.
And once again, Harrison Simon in. Looks like they're giving Julian a little break here on the sideline. And it's a handoff, and he will get about 6-ish. But they're now into Concordia's territory, so this is a good sign for the Collegiate offense.
Absolutely. Collegiate really doesn't want any big, huge plays here, anything risky right now with how close the game is. What Collegiate really wants to do here is get consistent yardage with consistent plays that they know will work.
Yeah, and that was a great run there to pick up the first down. But now we see Julian Johnson being taped on the sideline.
Oh, no. And Ferrales, a bit of a low pass there. Uncharacteristic.
Actually, couldn't quite make it out, but looks like the pass was broken up by
tipped.
a defender.
Yep,
Tipped
it was
out.
tipped. Yeah, and, I mean, this Concordia defensive line, haven't really talked about them all night, but a great play from them there.
Yeah, we kind of saw them holding in with a similar play style, mix of almost collegiate and Trinity, using power and speed here. Not as much passing, but their O line is or D line, sorry, is definitely nothing to underestimate.
As Simon gets about 3, it's going to be 3rd and long here.
And he took a huge hit there on that run through the middle.
And this is not good if you're a fan of anyone. I mean, watching Julian, just the explosiveness of him, and you got to think it's been limited for him with that taped ankle.
And we'll see what they pass here, but we see Roman Harani going on the field there as a 4th wide receiver.
And James Shackelford goes in motion as Ferrales drops back, fires Shackelford, and he will fight for the first down. What a play from Shackelford. He cut back on about the 40-yard line and got 5 yards upfield to pick up the first.
Great catch there by Shackelford. Way to get him back involved in this game. He's been a great receiver so far with 48 yards tonight. We haven't seen too much from Brett Wetta on offense, but he really is the main guy on defense as a lockdown corner.
And I don't think we're going to be entering Julian Johnson into this drive. I think we're just going to give him a little breather. Harrison Simon again in. Ferrales, a screen to James Shackelford. Oh, he makes a nice move. James Shackelford will get about 5.
Yeah, Collegiate definitely trying to break up this Concordia defense by using Harrison Simon's power to kind of keep them off Ferrales for longer, and kind of just making some sporadic passing plays here, kind of breaking up their defense, kind of showing that Collegiate can also be a little bit unexpected.
And Julian has been jogging on the sideline with a little bit of a limp, so we'll keep you updated on that throughout the game. As of now, there are 4 receivers on the outside, and Ferrales, it's a screen to Brett Wetta, who makes a nice juke. Brett Wetta gets upfield to about the 20-yard line, and that'll pick up a first down.
Yeah, great pass there. Great catch by Brett Wetta. We know that they love that curl route, especially with him. He always makes something out of that. Speaking of Julian Johnson on the sideline, he's been next to Coach Cam a lot, who's the injury trainer and one of the coaches for the collegiate team. And so that could be very interesting for this collegiate offense.
I think Collegiate has responded great to this. One of their best players goes down with an injury, and they've just marched right down on the field. And Collegiate now in the red zone. Hines Turner on the outside. And it's a quarterback draw. Hudson Ferrales will get about 5.
Definitely not something we see a lot of. We saw him do a couple running plays here in this last game against Heston, but definitely nothing deliberate. We saw him take advantage of some gaps when he couldn't find receivers, but right here, that was deliberate. He didn't even drop back to take a second to look for an open receiver. He just went right for it, and I think that's the first time we've seen that.
Well, we've seen a few quarterback runs, but right there in that position, I agree with you. That's the first time that we've seen it. But we see why they don't do it too often, as he almost took a massive hit by the linebacker there.
As Ferrales fires, Wetta takes a huge hit on the sideline, but gets the first down nonetheless. As the seconds tick away in the first quarter, about 20 left.
Yeah, kind of seeing Collegiate kind of not give it off to Julian Johnson here a lot. Kind of losing him to an unnecessary injury would be hugely disadvantaged for Collegiate. He is probably, without Jaden here, their only reliable source of running back. One of the best players on the Collegiate team, frequently highlighted in our player of the game. Definitely cannot afford to lose him in a game like this.
Ferrales, it was a very weird play. I don't think they knew what they were doing. Harrison Simon was lined up on the wrong side, and Ferrales got taken down. And, that was just a bad play and all.
Yeah, we saw the receivers went out to block, and Ferrales was still sitting in the pocket as defenders were collapsing in on him.
It looks like... Oh, yep, end of the first quarter. Almost looked like Ferrales was coming off the field for some reason. Just ticking out the clock. Definitely an interesting start for Collegiate. You know, we kind of expected them not to always have the strongest start here in this first quarter. I kind of mentioned that here at the very beginning of this game. But, you know, with such a strong first couple of plays, getting a touchdown in the first 2 plays of the game, it really looked like Collegiate would be able to just go in headlong with the blowout. But right here, you know, Concordia has done a great job of just kind of shutting down this Collegiate offense almost, and really putting Collegiate in a tough place after this first quarter. Concordia defense has really been doing a good job, especially now that Julian Johnson seems to be out of the game for just a little while. And you know, their offense obviously making a great couple of plays, consistent plays, almost making Collegiate defense really scramble for them, putting them in one of the most confusing and off-putting places we've seen them in all year.
I do think if Collegiate can respond with a touchdown here, they'll be in great position to start out the second quarter.
Man, 6 yards away from the end zone. I think that this is what they need to keep moving forward.
And Ferrales takes it, handoff to Simon. Harrison Simon will get all the way to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal. Interesting play and down coming up here for the Spartans.
You know, I think they're trying to play it safe there, too, because of what happened last drive. And, I mean, I don't dislike the play call. I think that they can try and pound it into the end zone, too.
As Julian Johnson, is getting extra taped up on his ankle. And 3rd and 2. We'll see if they can punch it in. It's a handoff to Simon. He slips and falls.
Wow. That's
for a gain of nothing.
That's huge. That's huge for the Concordia defense. I thought that Julian Johnson's ankle was being retaped on the sideline, but they've actually taken off his cleat, and they've just wrapped up his ankle on a bare foot. So I think he will be out for at least a decent portion right now. But he is putting a sock over it, so we will see.
You know, Julian Johnson's a player who's forced to play really, really physical. You know, they utilize him for his speed, obviously, but we still see him running up the middle, taking on defenders headlong. Honestly, nearly seemed like injury was kind of faded.
Collegiate's going for it, and a flag flies. Is this going to be a false start? Collegiate snapped the ball and was willing to go for it.
See, Hudson Farrell is frustrated as he comes talking to the sideline as the Collegiate offense moves back.
And this will be 4th and goal from the 7. The Collegiate offense is staying out there. They're going to go for this. Jacob Chappell in there for extra protection on the offensive line.
And they don't often run a 2 tight end set, but a timeout will be called right now.
And the offense does look like it will be taken off the field.
No surprise there, really. Concordia is doing a great job kind of breaking up, forcing Collegiate offense to get frustrated. You know, they're really just forcing them into a frustrating position there.
And, you know, that timeout was actually taken by Concordia. I think Collegiate's offense wants to stay on the field, but Concordia just wanted to make sure that they're prepared for this play. Because if they get a stop here, that could be a huge momentum turner. And they keep pounding.
And some great news for the Collegiate offense. Julian Johnson just entered the huddle back for Collegiate. So we'll see if they use him on this last play of the drive.
You know, I really wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't. You know, in a game like this with upcoming games like Andale and even more challenging games to come, I think Collegiate is going to use him very sparingly, trying to rely on some other players here, trying to preserve him. And we see him immediately coming out of the huddle back onto the sideline.
But what we do like to see is that he is involved and he is ready. Yep. As you guys mentioned, the Collegiate offense is going to stay on the field. They don't want a field goal here. They want to take the lead with 7 points.
Especially because it's definitely possible for this Collegiate offense to turn this game in their favor right here.
As Ferrales, fires one-on-one to Heinz Turner, but it falls incomplete. A great play from the Concordia cornerback.
No, Sebastian Heinz Turner. He is a tall guy, but he was far on that sideline. He wanted the pass, but that ball looked like it was a little high and drifting a little far out of bounds.
That was Drew Sterrett again. This guy having a game of a lifetime, stopping the collegiate offense.
Yeah, no surprise. Collegiate offense coming off a little bit just frustrated, a little bit depleted. Without their running back on the field, they can't break up their passing plays, making it really hard for them to gain consistent yardage.
And it appears that a timeout was called. Don't know by who. It was Collegiate who took the timeout.
Yeah, they want to talk things over here before this drive starts, but I don't know. They need to bounce back real quick from this.
Oh, absolutely. It's really easy for this collegiate team to get frustrated, start making easy mental errors, stuff like that. And, defense especially is a part where we saw a little bit of mental error coming out of this last push here. And, they really just need to be prepared. And I think if Collegiate can concentrate, can predict what Concordia is going to do, they can definitely very easily shut them out. But what it really takes here is less physical, more mental.
And something we do like to see is that Concordia is going to have terrible starting field position. So they're going to have to go a long way for a touchdown here. As it's a little trickery. It's an end around to the outside, but he's only going to get up to the 10, gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. That was Dustin Sterrett who had the end around.
Yeah, and great tackle there by Nick Adams and Jacob Chappell going there.
And Concordia cooking up a play in the huddle for a little bit longer than usual. Once again, same formation as always, 2 running backs in the backfield. And the quarterback just got ate up at the line of scrimmage. Don't really know what happened there, but it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, kind of makes it hard to tell what's going on from up here, especially with how concentrated and almost busy that line is there. That's really where all the action is happening, and I think that's where it's going to happen all game today. It's really going to come down to the bones of either team, kind of, as Rahul would put it, down to the trenches there, really just forcing a very physical game here.
But this is a great bounce back from the collegiate defense that I would like to see. 3rd and long. We'll see if they can continue the stop. And it's actually a run play, and he's actually going to get the first down. What in the world? Wow. A gain of 12 yards.
I think our defense got a little lost on where the ball was there as they went after a wrong running back.
Heath Kress, who had the carry there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have a bird's eye view up here, and we're getting pretty confused as to where that ball is going. Concordia offense is doing a great job of pretty much tricking everybody as to where that ball is going, as they have a lot of consistent options.
But I mean, it's a great execution, but it is a repetitive play as they run the same 2 to 3 run options at the same time.
As a rush by Concordia gets about 2 yards.
Yeah, that is a great point, Avi, there. As, this strategy might be working for them here in this first half, but hopefully we'll see that as the game goes on, Collegiate adapts and gets a little bit more used to it. They kind of learn to know what to expect here, and it soon becomes a case where Collegiate can easily shore them out.
Once again, the exact same formation, 2nd and 9 on the 22 for Concordia. And again, more trickery. It's hard to see where the ball is going, and they got all the way up to about the 26-yard line. That was Mason Elkman.
Yeah, Mason Eichmann had a great run through the middle there on the handoff. Yeah, the DN on that play, Hayden Anderson, went the wrong way looking at the play. And I understand why. You really can't tell which way you have to go, and I think he just had to close off the outside option.
But again, a 3rd and 5. It appears that he only gained about 3 or 4 yards. Not a very generous spot from the officials there. And it's a run. This one was obvious, and he did not get there. Number 24, Mason Elkman, got a gain of about a yard. 4th and 4.
Yeah, great stop there. The D-line really broke through the openings there. And we saw Jacob Chappell again just on top of the tackle.
Brett Wetta back to receive the punt.
Great job by collegiate defense. Concordia didn't have a great starting position there. And, it might have been confusing, especially. Brett comes up. Looks like Concordia
they're
might go for it.
But a timeout is called by Concordia. Oh, that was going to be tricky.
Yeah, that would have been a risky call on 4th and 4 at their own 27-yard line. I mean, I can't imagine what would happen there if they didn't get it.
Yeah, but I mean, in a game like this where it's still so close, it honestly wouldn't be too surprising if Concordia wanted to take any advantage they could.
And I agree with that. And also, we've seen from their kicks, they've had a lot of squib kicks. We don't know how far this punt can really go.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. We've definitely seen kind of a lackluster kicking game here, kind of just rolling across the ground for not a whole lot of yards. It might honestly be worth it in that case to go for it. But we'll just have to see here. And it looks like Brett Wetta is backing up, expecting the kick.
Yep, Concordia in punt formation here. But Brett Wetta's back to receive it at about the 45. He's expecting a very short punt here.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. I mean, he's had to move up on the first punt return, too. And look, that ball only traveled to their
he
own
was right, but a lucky bounce.
6-yard line.
Brett Wetta, he has a little bit of speed, gets to the outside on the near side of the football field, gets about to the 50. And this collegiate offense that stalled out on the last drive in the red zone, we'll see what they can do now.
And you see, if he lined up even further forward, he might have been able to take that punt out of the air as he had space to return that.
Absolutely interesting here. We see Julian Johnson taking the field, I believe. Something we really didn't expect up here until much later in the game. But with it being 7-7, with Collegiate having great field position, it might be a good time to have him do some consistent yardage.
Asa Ahmad going on the field as wide receiver on the outside.
As a screenplay to Harrison Simon, almost fumbled there, but gets about 2 or 3.
Yeah, we see. If they went, that ball was stretched out from Harrison Simon. If they went for the knockdown, they might have been able to draw that free.
Yeah, something very interesting we kind of mentioned before the play went into action. Asa Ahmad taking wide receiver, something we haven't seen at all so far this season. Doing it once again. Weird switch up by Collegiate here.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that call.
Yeah, I mean, the linebacker out there running routes, Ferrales drops back and fires to Harrison Simon. Harrison Simon makes a nice move, gets about 15. No, about 13. But anyway, the first down.
And a great play there. And I'm not opposed to Asa Ahmad running routes. I mean, we saw him play a lot of snaps and as a halfback his sophomore and freshman year. That's where we kind of thought he was going, along with also playing on the other side as a linebacker. But great to see him out there on offense.
And
looks like Asa Ahmad has come off the field. Definitely an interesting couple of plays right there. But Collegiate returning to what they know.
But a handoff to Julian Johnson, his first snap back from the injury, and he is going to get back to the line of scrimmage. But he is walking with no limp, so that's a great sign for Collegiate.
Oh, absolutely. Moving forward, too. You love to see him back out there, and you love to see him moving well.
It's just worth it to mention, not only is he extremely valuable to Collegiate, but he's also just a resilient kid. We see him get hard nearly every game and never really seen him not get up.
As Ferrales drops back, holds the ball for a while, but James Shackelford got open over the middle of the field, and it'll be a 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Very close to the first down.
Great Great concept there. They all ran curl routes, but James Shackelford stayed open in the middle of the field there. And Hudson Ferrales with a great pass lead there to put it closer to the middle of the field where no one was around the ball.
There are about 4 minutes left in this half, so we'll see if Collegiate can wind this clock all the way down and get into halftime with a lead over Concordia. And Ferrales drops back, fires. Oh, and a great play by number 44, Dane Cleveland from
kind
Concordia.
Of shot down in midair. Really can see Ferrales is clearly frustrated. That was almost super bad for Collegiate.
Again, a similar route concept there with a curl route to James Shackelford, but I mean, Dan Cleveland read that perfectly and dropped down. If he had a little more time, he could have had a pick, but he went for the punch out, and that was a great play by him.
And Harrison Simon, Brett Wetta, James Shackelford, and Heinz Turner all on the outside here on this play. As Ferrales looks, and it is caught by Simon. Oh, and he nearly got taken down before the first down marker, but he will get it.
Great play there, 4th and 2, and he made a marvelous catch, still behind the first down marker, and made a great play to break a tackle there.
Yeah, pretty cool. We almost seen a bit of a Superman pose up there, kind of hanging in the air there to grab that ball.
Yep, and a fresh set of downs at the 21-yard line as Ferrales takes the ball, fires deep to Shackelford.
Shackelford with a
caught it.
Reception there.
What a catch. What a
the arms of a
throw.
defender right there. Amazing, amazing passing play. Super deep, 21 yards. I think that's definitely everything Collegiate wanted to see right there. It's a play like that that really sends the Collegiate engine into motion.
And, we've seen some great plays by James Shackelford, a safety with that chase down tackle. But, 84 yards and 2 touchdowns from James Shackelford. Doesn't get too much better for him.
Oh, and the extra point by Ward Weimer was blocked. So they'll keep a 6-point lead, but not a 7-point one.
Yeah, definitely still a strong performance by Concordia. I think that's one of the first kicks we've seen blocked in this entire season so far. You can definitely, for how great Collegiate is playing, there's definitely no way you can understate how unexpectedly well Concordia is playing here as well.
Nathaniel Toon, the freshman, to kick the ball away.
Yeah, and with only about 3 minutes and 24 seconds here left in this half, if Concordia can somehow pull out a touchdown here, that would put them with the extra point in the lead going into the second half here, which would be huge for Concordia. So I think this could definitely turn into a huge play here for Concordia.
Number 5, Cade Grope on the return for Concordia. As Toon boots it away, it is fielded. Oh, a little miscommunication, but the ball is taken. It was a fair catch signaled.
Yeah, interesting way for the fair catch as he proceeded to drop that ball too. I don't know what the Concordia special teams thing was thinking, but sets up a nice stop for Collegiate as Concordia will be down around their 20-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 20 for Concordia. And Braden Primo will look to take the lead on this drive. Number 12, Peyton Brees, wide receiver for Concordia. And same formation and a little trickery. The ball only makes it about 2 yards upfield there before Collegiate shut it down.
Yeah, I think Collegiate defense is honestly even looking a little bit angry out there. Some mental errors can really just turn on the rage for them. And, seeing just some really aggressive aggressiveness by not only the D line but by our defenders here.
Yeah, and we see some offensive players yelling down on the field. We see Hudson Ferrell trying to fire up the team too from the sideline.
I think that's honestly one of the best things we've consistently seen from him. Just some great leadership.
Another run play by number 24, Elkman. And, wow, he kind of bulldozed his way all the way to a first down. He's been having himself a game.
That was James Shackelford dove on him, tried to jump on him, and just immediately got plowed through. I mean, gosh.
And, has Concordia thrown a pass to their wide receivers? The running back was the guy who got the touchdown, and I don't think they've ran a single play that is directed to the wide receivers.
I think we did see a touchdown play. That was a passing play. Oh, it was the running back. That's my apologies. Definitely interesting layout here. I definitely don't think we can expect at all to see a single passing play throughout this game at all. Truly.
As he speaks the truth, Elkman gets another rush, gets all the way up to the 35-yard line. And, with this play style, it's effective, but with 2:12 on the clock left, you got to wonder, are they going to start passing to try and get the ball into range of scoring? If they keep running it like this.
Absolutely. This is the time where Concordia really wants to make that touchdown here, really want to make a drive, but as the clock kind of is starting to work against them, they're put in a really difficult spot here as their play style forces kind of a very slow march down the field.
And, oh, my God, it's a pass play. And, it was number 21, Drake Blocklinger. He was another quarterback on the team who ended up with the ball. It seemed that they subbed out Promo for a play there.
Yeah, it looked like kind of a short up screenplay there. First passing play we've seen that really just went nowhere.
Yeah, he didn't like anything he saw in the secondary and chose to run, have we seen about 30 times this game already.
Yeah, Avi said it earlier this game. It's going to get repetitive real quick. Same formation nearly every time.
Yep, and the exact same play. And, that looked like either a hold or a block in the back by the offense.
Yeah, we do see some laundry on the field.
That is certainly going to get called back. A good run nonetheless that got the first down, but don't think it'll stand. Indeed, a holding by the offense, and it'll be 3rd and long. And with their play style, like Aiden said multiple times, the 3rd and long is not this offense's best friend.
Oh, absolutely not. Their play style is definitely getting consistent few yards every play. Definitely not the first time Collegiate has been confronted with this kind of offense, but is definitely a slow march for them. As the clock is now clicking down to 1 minute and 30 seconds left, Concordia in a tough position.
Concordia, and they ran the ball on 3rd and 16, maybe looking to just get time off the clock, but Collegiate has timeouts, and, it went nowhere. So it looks like they're going to have to punt it away.
Only 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Looks like we have a timeout. Collegiate, just as you said, not really letting Concordia take advantage of the clock here. Wow. Kind of a tough start for Collegiate, as we saw here in the first part of this game, but really in this last offensive, and especially right here in this defensive push, seeing much better performance by them, as we always kind of have known them to be a later game kind of a team. Great job right here. Honestly, they've done a great job of predicting Concordia's movements here. Obviously, knock on wood, but Collegiate is doing an amazing job right here of shoring them up, not letting them get any big yards on stupid mental errors. Hopefully, this is a bright sign for the rest of this game here, where Collegiate can consistently stop them.
And Brett Wetta back to receive the kick. And this is something I really like about the collegiate offense is that we have confidence that in a minute and 15 seconds, we think Ferrales can really get something cooking here, something that Concordia doesn't have, which is why we like our offense. Ooh, close to getting blocked there. Wetta, he touched it, but runs around, cuts back. Oh, he has blockers. He has space.
He has space
Brett
to
Wetta.
move. He makes his way down the field, kind of torn down, forced out of bounds here in around the 46-yard line.
And a minute left on the 45-yard line. Let's see what this collegiate offense can do. Getting up by 2 scores would be massive for this team.
Absolutely, and especially because it is much more possible for the collegiate offense to do with, our tried and trusted quarterback here, Hudson Ferrales, always going for some deep, crazy plays, always getting us hype up here. Let's see if he can do it again.
And, 4 receivers on the outside. Julian Johnson back in. We love to see that. Ferrales, deep drop. Fires. Shackelford, caught. Breaks a tackle. Shackelford jukes. Gets all the way up into the middle of the field at about the 31-yard line. Collegiate going hurry-up offense here.
Wow, hurry-up offense, yeah. No huddle, no giving.
And the game has stopped.
Not quite sure why.
But the clock continues to run. Those were precious seconds that Collegiate would like to have. Ferrales, pump fake. Ferrales, he can't take a sack.
Breaks the
sack. What a sack break.
Oh.
And did he catch that?
No, he did not, but it looks like Collegiate's
Harrison
still running.
Simon. Harrison
Wow, he
Simon,
did
what
make
a
that.
catch.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Breaks 3 defenders against the sack and still makes the pass through a defender's arm.
And spikes the ball to stop the clock. What a play. That was Patrick Mahomes-esque.
Wow. That was really incredible right there. We're not really used to commentating for this hurry-up offense. Definitely not something we typically see, kind of throwing not only Concordia but the refs into a bit of confusion here. Definitely not excluding us up here.
And, this is something that separates Collegiate from Concordia. This type of offense that can score in just about a minute is something we like about this Collegiate offense that Concordia can't do. As Ferrales drops, throws, and it bounced off the hands of Wetta. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, looks Wetta was right open, bullet pass, all him all day. Kind of just bounced out of his hands, unfortunately, there. Nothing you could really do about that. Looks like Collegiate offense has definitely slowed down a bit, not really rushing as much, kind of taking their time, reevaluating 30 seconds to make this touchdown.
They do still have a timeout left. As Ferrales gets the ball, looks, Simon gets in for the touchdown. It will be a 2-possession game for the Collegiate Spartans.
Harrison Simon's ball all day right there. Amazing catch beforehand. Great, and then it was all him. No defenders could get anywhere close to him before he made that touchdown.
That was a very nice slant route from Simon there. And good stuff from Ferrales there, recognizing the defense and knowing immediately where to throw it.
Now putting Collegiate up, pending this this extra point right here, right now, 19-7, with only 24 seconds left in the half. Oh, it looks like they're going for the 2 points.
They are going for 2 to make this a 14-point game.
Kind of making up for the blocked kick earlier, going for 2 points right here.
James Shackelford in motion. Ferrales looking. And
it's Harrison Simon. Who else? Wow. That is another thing. I think we've said this about 1,000,000 times so far this game, but something we have not seen from Collegiate at all so far this season, kind of pulling out all the stops going into this first game of the postseason. Great 2 points right there.
And, I think Collegiate has had a great bounce back from that interception deep in Concordia territory. I think they've responded very well to the adversity they've faced.
Oh, yeah, and when Collegiate gets this kind of momentum, it almost seems like there's no stopping them, really. So hopefully, again, knock on wood, but it's really time for Collegiate's team to shine going into the second half.
And something this collegiate defense will enjoy is the one-dimensional offense they have to go up with 24 seconds left, and not the passing one-dimensional. As it was a great kick by Toon, fielded at the 10. Oh, he got upfield, actually. Wow. What a play by number 19, Wyatt Franz.
We have not seen him play much so far, but managed to make it up the middle for some decent yardage, putting them at about the 35 here. But, with only 19 seconds left here, pending a miracle, seems nearly impossible for Concordia's consistent and predictable offense. Good point, knock on wood there.
Yeah, same formation, little run play, and Elkman gets about 5 yards. Is Concordia going to take a timeout? Oh, they are actually going to take a timeout, even while running the football. I would have expected a pass down 14, but,
13 seconds left. Decent yardage right there, obviously, but with Collegiate on the receiving end going into the second half, basically impossible.
Yeah, and I think Collegiate has shown some great efforts, and I think that this game upcoming next week, if Collegiate is able to close this out, likely against St. George Rock Creek, will be a great game. 5 wins for them, but they need to get this game finished off first.
Oh yeah. What another thing we really want to see from Collegiate here is a strong start to the postseason. Obviously, we see Collegiate is going to have a pretty tough bracket facing Andale pretty soon into the postseason. Any kind of momentum that Collegiate can get is going to be great for them.
Yep, and the exact same formation we've seen all day. And a run play, and this is likely to be the last play of the first half. He got about 2 yards. And yeah, Spartans up 14 going into the halftime break. Concordia will get the ball first after half, so we'll see how they respond after gathering in the locker room and making some adjustments.
Absolutely. Concordia, if they want to do anything in this game at this point, is they've got to switch it up. Concordia definitely came out here with a bit of an unexpected kind of matchup against Collegiate. They fought really, really hard, really, really well. But going into the locker room, we're definitely going to need to see a switch up.
And we will see you in 15 minutes at the beginning of the third quarter. Thank you for listening to the first half. Hello and welcome back to the second half. Collegiate and Concordia have taken the sidelines, ready to get back to another 24 minutes of football left in this game.
Yeah, Collegiate now leading 21-7 here going into the second half. Honestly, almost setting up for a bit of the start of a blowout here. Collegiate really known to be a second half kind of a team. They definitely did have a tough time this first quarter. They did have an amazing touchdown 2 plays into this game. And then, up here we were blown away. Really thought this would turn into their game all day today. And it kind of turned against them. Concordia pulling out with a touchdown, kind of putting Collegiate in a tough spot. But they managed to pull out in this second half and now leaving us with a 2-touchdown lead.
Yep, and it's going to be Nathaniel Toon kicking it away. And the kick is off. And a low kick from Toon here, fielded at about the 25.
Wow,
oh, he
breaks
got
down
free.
the middle.
All the way to the 40-yard line there.
Looks like he was almost taken down by the kicker there. But definitely a theme we've seen so far of Concordia players getting able to get free with the ball. As we kind of start to kick off this second half here, definitely Collegiate's time to shine almost. Excuse me. Defense did a really good job going into the second part of the second quarter here. We'll see what we can do right here, right now.
Motion here for Concordia, something we haven't seen, but promote another handoff to Eichmann, who got about 3-ish. Yep, 2nd and 7, coming up at about the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Concordia is not known for their passes. They have been very skimpy so far in this first half. Having players in motion might just be another tool to kind of trip up Collegiate, trip us up here, but I doubt we're going to see any real switch up in the running plays in this game.
Yep, as you say, the exact same formation and a little play fake, and the ball is handed off end around to number 25, Drew Starrett of Concordia, who gets about 8 yards. It'll be not about 8, about 5-ish. It'll be about 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like Concordia is really kind of running what Andale runs here, but a little worse, with a lot less power to choose from. This kind of strategy requires a lot of power, a lot of rigidity, and that's something Andale does really well, but if you're not performing high there, it's a really repetitive play style.
And, Concordia tries to do trickery, but it backfires completely.
Pushes
what
them
a
back
play.
about 4 yards.
Dustin Starrett had nowhere to run.
Getting pushed back by the Collegiate defenders before he could be brought down, pushing Concordia back.
And it does appear that the punting unit is coming onto the field for Concordia. Number 9, Caleb Hansen.
No surprise here. Collegiate did a great job of shutting that offense down real fast.
And you got to think, if Collegiate can score a touchdown on this drive, I mean, that's a 21-point game. And with Concordia's playing style, will they even have enough time to come back? And number 9, Weta. He has speed. Weta gets all the way up to the 46-yard line. Nice straight line speed from Weta there. Yep, and Ferralis takes the field for the first time in the second half.
We've seen it a lot from this Collegiate team so far this season, but it looks like they're getting ready to set up for a bit of a blowout going into this second half.
And Harrison Simon, who's had a great game, lined up again. Seems that he's earned a lot of playing time. As a handoff to Julian Johnson, and it went nowhere.
Wow.
Loss of about 1 for the Collegiate offense.
So another thing we don't see a lot so far this season is Julian getting taken down in the backfield. We don't often see Collegiate getting pushed back in that way, but it kind of looks like he was dragged down. Not quite sure if that's a mental error. It could also be a symptom of an earlier slight injury. Clearly that injury was nothing serious because obviously he would not be playing at all. But could be a mixture of a couple things that brought him down.
And once again, same formation here for the Spartans, and a screen to Weta. Weta, oh, and the flag flies. Ferrales. I mean, Weta gained about 20 yards here, but it's all coming back. Harrison Simon held. Ferrales clearly frustrated after seeing the flag fly there.
Yeah, interesting dynamic here. Just amazing work from Collegiate defense, shutting down Concordia offense almost immediately. But kind of still seeing a slow, frustrating start from the Collegiate offense. Obviously, we can kind of see from Hudson Ferrales just clearly not happy. Obviously, only a couple plays here into this second half, but that is going to push back Collegiate a full 10 yards.
2nd and 21. And, I mean, if any offense can get out of this one, it is Collegiate, so we'll see what Ferrales can do.
Oh, no doubt about it. Difficult position for any team, but with how capable this Collegiate offense is of making big plays, if any, as you put it, if any offense can do it, definitely Collegiate.
And Ferrales takes it, fake to Julian. Oh, it's a screen. Julian has so many blockers. Julian Johnson, straight line speed. He's so fast. Julian Johnson all the way down to the 5-yard line. Julian Johnson with a 60-yard splash play.
And barely chased down there by Drew Sturrett, but Julian Johnson was out there. His blockers executed. It was a great run there.
Yeah, fake to him, causing the defenders to kind of leave him be, resulting in the screen, and then they really just couldn't keep up with him.
We have to give credit to the offensive line of Collegiate there.
I mean, we saw Cooper Brown darting down the field there to make a great block for Julian Johnson to cut back inside.
Yeah, he had 3 linemen ahead of him, all who made key blocks that were amazing. And now the Collegiate offense is down at the 7. And a handoff to Simon. Simon to get his 2nd touchdown of the game, and he walks in 27-7.
Wait. Oh, flag there.
2 flags now. Oh, actually, I'm seeing 3 flags down on the play. Looks like refs are going to have to discuss about this one. Flags coming from different angles here.
But to talk about that run, it was a great sweep by Harrison Simon and Sebastian Hines-Turner with a closeout block there in the corner.
And the Collegiate offense is either going back to the sideline or moving backwards. The officials clearly confused.
Officials are confused. Kind of can see the Collegiate offense is confused. Everybody's a little confused right now, and us not excluded here.
Yep, the officials. Oh, they are talking to the Concordia coach, which means it is on Collegiate. Maybe? Oh, wait. The kicking unit for Collegiate.
Is that a confirmed touchdown then?
It is a touchdown for Collegiate. 27-7. And unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense there.
Oh, both sides.
Offsetting penalties there. Interesting.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of aggressive plays here. Definitely some pushing even after the play is done.
When Ward Weimer does boot it through 28-7. And with Concordia's play style, they're going to run out of time. They're down 3 touchdowns and have to make up for a lot of ground.
Yeah, with still 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in this quarter, the clock's really going to work against Concordia and their slow play style. But kind of to talk about those personal fouls there, we have seen a lot of aggressive play even after the plays are down by both sides of the team. Some pushing, clearly some talking that can be seen even from up here. Very interesting as we go into the rest of this game, how that's going to develop.
And, even from the very beginning on that opening drive, there was chatter immediately coming off that D-line.
Yeah, we kind of saw that, especially after the first touchdown where Clearly, both lines, who are just having a really aggressive game so far, are just, they're getting angry. They're getting frustrated with each other. And, in high school sports, that can easily turn into personal fouls.
Yeah, and as you were talking about, the time is working against Concordia right now. And they had a great start at the beginning, but as this game goes on, and as every game generally goes on for Collegiate, as soon as they start to get on a roll on offense, there's no stopping that team.
As Toon boots it away, fielded at about the 11, and again he got a little bit free all the way up to the 34-yard line. Collegiate special teams not been at its best today, actually.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that statement. He caught it down by the 11-yard line, going for kind of breaking free of the initial special teams players, kind of getting a little bit more yardage than he should have.
And, that's been a consistent pattern for this Collegiate special teams this game. I mean, we saw it on the opening kickoff to start the game where Jacob Chappell missed an easy tackle that he normally fires down on. And it's just been continuing throughout this game.
And a little bit of confusion on the Concordia sideline, but they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely seeing a little confusion on both sides here.
They're going to re-kick it from Concordia's 45-yard line. It appears that there was a penalty of some sort that moved the ball up. Toon is on the 45. He's on the 45, close to the end zone. He doesn't have to boot this very far.
He is kicking off from Concordia territory.
And Toon, he still booted it into the end zone. So Concordia is going to get fined starting field position, but weird play nonetheless.
Yeah, kind of weird to see. Looks like that penalty was called against Concordia. We're not quite sure for what up here, but it's definitely an interesting call.
Yeah. Could have also been, with those 3 flags on the unsportsmanlike conduct, there could have been 2 against Concordia there, moving Collegiate another 15 yards on that kickoff.
And Braden Primo, the quarterback who has handed the ball off about 35 times today. We'll see what he does on this drive.
Definitely a big mystery there.
And the exact same formation, so repetitive. And what do you know, a run that went for 2 yards. It's almost as if
kind of pushed back a little bit there. But I think you're right. 1 to 2 yards, definitely nowhere significant.
That was Mason Eichmann for Concordia Panthers.
Yeah. And, great tackles there with Harrison Simon and Tristan Sproul pushing through that D-line, or against that O-line.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, Concordia's taking so much time off the clock with each play, which just ends up with the same exact type of run.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. They really need to start working time in their favor if they're going to do anything in this game.
As, again, it was an end-around sweep, but a flag does fly in. The Concordia wide receiver gained about 0, actually. I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great wrap-up tackle there by Jacob Chappell. Again, we've seen a lot of productivity from him today.
I think that was Drew Starrett who got 0, but a flag is down there, so we'll see what this is.
Wow, looks like more confusing communication by the refs. We'll have to see what this looks like it's going to be. But the ball is moving. Looks like Collegiate's walking back a bit.
It looks like it's going to be against Collegiate.
Looks like the penalty is going to be at 10 yards in favor of Concordia against number 14 Harrison Simon.
Simon's had 2 penalties in the second half, but nonetheless had a great game as Primo, another handoff to number 24 again. You've heard his name, Mason Eichmann, but again, went nowhere.
But again, bouncing back right back there is Harrison Simon there on that tackle near the sideline. And a loss of 1 for Concordia there, as it'll be 2nd and 11 as they're on their own 30-yard line.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 yards in Concordia's favor is really good for them if they could do anything with this ball here. They're continuing to be shored up by Collegiate's defense, really making it kind of insignificant for them.
Yep. And, the quarterback, Primo, he tried to run backwards. It seemed like a botched snap. I mean, I don't know where the running back was going. It seemed like he was lined up on the wrong side. So Primo just tried to roll out of the pocket, but Tristan Sproul caught him.
Huge sack there by Tristan Sproul. We saw the quarterback trying to fight that off, but there was no way he was getting out of there.
This is 3rd and a country mile.
Oh,
for
absolutely. 3rd and 18 here, relatively 3rd and impossible for them. I think they've had 1, maybe 2 plays this entire game so far that have gone for more than 10 yards.
Do you think that they finally pull out a pass play here again? I mean, it worked when they were at the goal line for about 2 yards, but we'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, in desperate situations, teams
Call.
can do something different.
Oh, and it was a run. That just got them 6 yards, and it's 4th and 12. Yeah, it's 4th and long. And is the punting unit going to come on
Yep,
the
we
field?
see the punting unit come
punting
on the
unit.
field.
And if Collegiate scores on this drive, I mean, you got to imagine we're going to getting into garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, there was no way that running back was going to make it to the first down marker, but still a great tackle by Cooper Brown in relatively open field.
Yeah, good point, honestly. Probably maybe not see any JV come out in a post-game or a postseason game like this, but definitely going to start getting into a bit of garbage time here.
I would like to see our backup quarterback, Isaac Vanderberg, get some playoff playing time if possible.
That is an interesting proposition, but really, even in blowout games in the past, when it wasn't a postseason game, we have not seen him come on the field really at all. Wow. Punt puts Collegiate on the 47-yard line in Concordia territory. Great field position for Collegiate. Horrible position for the Concordia defense here.
And Ferrales under center again. And a deep drop back. He's looking. He's firing deep. Oh, James Shackelford.
It just slips through his hands at the 15-yard line.
Out of his hands.
Yeah, it looks like he was kind of diving for that one, going for that diving catch, but right through his arms.
Yeah, he had a great release there, outside release, and he just beat his man. He was gone, and he dropped back, kind of to slide into the middle of the field there, but just could not hold on to it.
2nd and 10 from the Concordia 47 here for the Collegiate offense. And James Shackelford in motion. Ferrales looking. Finds Harrison Simon, who's had a great game. He's going to get the first down and more. And a little aggressive shove out of bounds there from Mason Eichmann.
Yeah, absolutely, but still seeing some laughing from the Collegiate coaches here. It's pretty clear to see that Concordia's defense and offense really is getting frustrated, getting angry, making some aggressive plays, and we might even see a bit more personal penalties going into the rest of this game with just how aggressive they've been.
But as Concordia starts to play more aggressively and as it starts to get in their head, they start to make simple mistakes like that route there.
Ferrales with a little pump fake. Oh, he makes a nice move. Ferrales.
Oh, my God. Ducked a defender right there. Seeing some real, as Rahul would put it, wheels on Ferrales there, putting them in first down. Wow.
And, I mean, wow, first down from the 21, and Collegiate is rolling now. It appears that they have woken up from Concordia's little startle, and they're looking to get into the second round of the playoffs here. And it seems that with a touchdown drive here, they could almost lock it up. Ferrales, an out route to Gorges just went right through his hands. 2nd and 10.
Oh, wow. Looks like Ferrales nearly took down a kid. Gorgeous nearly took down a kid on the outside there. Bit of communication with Ferrales and his coaches here.
And we'll see what this Concordia defense can do, because if they really can't make a stop here on this drive, it is pretty much over.
We haven't seen Julian Johnson on this drive yet. And Ferrales pump fakes first, then fires. Heinz Turner, what a stiff arm out of bounds. Heinz Turner's going to get the first down. He just shoved his cornerback out of bounds like it was nothing.
Great catch right there.
Yeah, another aggressive tackle by Concordia there, with none of their players really offering to help him back up. Definitely still seeing a bit of frustration from them, worthy of mentioning just because of that personal penalty that we saw earlier in this game.
Red zone offense, ball on the 9, 1st and goal. Collegiate will have 3 or maybe even 4 if they're bold to try and put this game out of reach. A quarterback draw, the 2nd time we've seen it. Ferrales, he has wheels. A stiff arm. Ferrales gets all the way down to the 4 and stiff armed a defender.
Oh my gosh, I think I blinked and thought that was Julian Johnson. He was moving right there, dodged a couple of defenders to pick up a couple yards, putting them at a nearly assured touchdown right here.
Hayden Anderson, the first time we've seen him for the offense, is subbed in. So we'll see if he can shore up this touchdown for Collegiate.
Yeah, it looks like Collegiate really is trying to preserve Julian Johnson as much as humanly possible. That would have been a play right there that we would have seen him just absolutely lightning right there. But
and either there was a false start, and Collegiate's going to be pushed back. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 8.
That ball did look, however, like it was going into the arms of Julian Johnson. With how close they were to the end zone, that would have been a play where he could have easily gotten that consistent yardage.
And Collegiate will regroup here. There are 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And, almost a bailout there for Concordia, but I still see this Collegiate offense driving down on them, even in the red zone.
Yeah, it's only the 2nd down. With how consistent yardage they've been gaining this entire game, it's all but assured.
And Ferrales looks, fires, and Heinz Turner was wide open over the middle of the field for a touchdown. 34-7 with 2:58 left in the 3rd quarter. And I think we're starting to get ourselves into garbage time here, guys.
God, such an easy grab, wide open on a slant route. No one near him.
Yeah, we're not really Sebastian Heinz Turner, more known for his power than his speed, but easily broke his defenders on that route.
And Ward Weimer with the extra point. It is through.
Yep.
35-7. And if you're Concordia, what do you do at this point?
What do you do but just try and preserve the score as much as possible? 35-7 here, 3 minutes left. Collegiate is looking absolutely unstoppable right now. Obviously we had a bit of a hiccup in that 1st quarter, which I think we've mentioned a lot so far just because of how consistently they've been struggling in the 1st quarter of nearly every game this season. I think we saw against Andale how much that can really hurt them when it's not leading into a blowout game. Collegiate, we could talk for days about all their strengths, but going into more competitive games here in this postseason, it's also really important to mention some stuff they got to work on. And I think that first part of every game is definitely something to look at.
As Toon is ready to kick it away. And I think that's a great point because if Collegiate wants to make a deep run into the postseason, they can't get off to slow starts like this. Like, even in the next round, probably against St. George Rock Creek, who's a pretty good team with 5 wins on their resume, they can't get off to a slow start there, as Ball was fielded at about the 7. And, a great special teams play there from Collegiate, corralling him down at about the 23-yard line.
Oh, yeah. Great kick right there. Probably the best we've seen this entire game at around the 7-yard line. Really goes nearly nowhere, putting Concordia offense in a bad position with only 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this quarter.
Yeah, and going back to what we were talking about, I mean, yeah, they have Andale soon up. If they want to win the state championship, Andale's coming up very soon. And as we saw, they didn't win this year, but they put up actually a pretty decent fight compared to other teams. But they can't get off to a slow start, like we said. A bad snap, but Mason Eichmann gets nowhere as it was a handoff to him.
Yeah, and I think Collegiate really did hopefully come out of that game less defeated and more angry and ready for a bit of vengeance. So it almost appears to be a good thing that we're playing them so soon. A bit of that emotion is going to be carried back over. Collegiate is really, really going to want that victory against Andale soon into this postseason. And, talking about a little bit of Collegiate's shortcomings, if we can see it, they can see it. And they definitely know it's something they got to work on if they want to be able to win.
And a quarterback draw from Primo. Oh, my gosh. He got 30 yards on that. That's the first time we've seen that all day.
Again, Jack Grace, again, with another great chase down tackle. I mean, we saw him chase down earlier on a huge run play. But again, he has to keep up in that backfield. And I thought he was going to clamp down a little sooner on that, but he just had...
Maybe that's the spark that, Concordia needed.
I think this is definitely... this is definitely drawing some flags, or not flags, but some caution signs for the coaches here on Collegiate.
And the next run by Eichmann went for 1 yard.
They played Rocky Creek Concordia played Rocky Creek last week, as I said earlier. So they lost 7-43, but this collegiate team, a heavy favorite entering next week. But will they be able to keep up? Because we haven't seen them outperform Rocky Creek in this game.
Yeah, that's a great point. With how... Collegiate really does have the capability to turn it up kind of in the second half. But to keep up in points, you got to play consistently a whole game.
25 this time. Drew Starrett, yet he got negative yardage. And 3rd and 10. And are we looking at a pass? Maybe? Possibly?
Definitely going to be interesting to see, 3rd and 10 here
10.
Still to go. We have seen once or twice them pulling out a pass play just to pick up some yards. I wouldn't be completely surprised to see it right here, but I still think we can kind of just rely on the old reliable for them. It would be absolutely no surprise to see yet another running play.
All reliable for 2 yards about every drive. And all reliable busts out again. Drew Starrett.
Wow.
He fumbled. Wow. He got 5 yards but fumbled, but Concordia got it back. Still won't matter. It's going to be 4th and 7.
Yeah, great jump there by the offensive lineman, recognizing that ball was out. We had about 3 collegiate players near that ball, and none of them able to dive on top of it there.
And that closes out the third quarter. Collegiate up 35-7. Concordia with a 4th down coming up on them, and you have to imagine they have to go for it at the beginning of the 4th quarter.
Honestly, I really wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Kind of trying to keep that score down. Obviously, this is a bit of a lost game for them. Really unfortunate, especially for their seniors. This is probably going to be their last game of the season. For them. Definitely kind of bittersweet. But I think they're going to do everything they can to kind of keep that score down rather than kind of go for some risky out there random plays.
Down 28. Maybe risky and random is what they need.
Sometimes you need to do anything to stay in this game. This is going to be their last game of the season if they can't pull something together. which, I mean, I find very unlikely in this scenario already, entering the fourth quarter down 4 scores. But if you're going to try anything at all, I think you need to go with something else. I mean, we've seen the guys on the staple run plays going back and forth, but they're starting to get tired. We saw a fumble there on that play, and, I mean, they can't keep going like this either. They're just fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that can't even hold up for the last quarter of the game.
And Concordia is, in fact, going for it on the Collegiate 46. And, it's a pass play. Oh, my gosh. And
Wow,
he fires deep. And
it's
it's
all
intercepted by
James
James Shackelford. James Shackelford with great speed.
Great speed. Great pickup.
Oh, man, a late push there on a late blocking play on the far side of the field, pushing down the quarterback there.
I think we now know why they don't pass the ball, because that was overthrown by a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, about 5 yards overthrown. But also, I mean, great pressure in the quarterback's face. We saw Givey Gibson right in front of him.
Absolutely. Yeah, great play right there. Shackelford right where he needed to be. Looks like the ball was just intended for him. Yeah, perfect play right there, putting Collegiate offense in a great field position with only 11 minutes, 46 seconds.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what Collegiate does here. I mean, they don't want to risk injury for Julian Johnson, but they also want to chew the clock up 28. So we'll see if they bring in other sort of running backs.
Looks like that late push there is going to set Collegiate back a little bit. Another foul against them, pushing them back a solid 10 yards, putting them at about the 25-yard line. Still solid field position, but we're seeing yet another personal penalty push them back in this game.
We saw Givey Gibson there getting a little talking to by the coaches as he had a late hit on the quarterback, pushing him on an unnecessary block after the play.
Oh, Julian Johnson has great speed, but the flag does fly. Julian Johnson got 20 yards. He's been great, but likely going to come back.
Yeah, that looks like that ball is going to come back yet again. We'll have to see what it's for here. Refs seem to be communicating a little bit. Looks like holding on number 6 on the offense, sending them back another 10 yards, putting Collegiate at about 1st and 20.
Yep, that was Hayden Anderson with the hold there.
Yeah, but Hayden Anderson has been an impactful blocking tight end throughout this game. I mean, sure, it's a little demoralizing there, but he has been great overall throughout his performance today.
And Ferrales, it's a pass, fires to Gorges. Gorges breaks a tackle, gets a gain of about 15. It'll make it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, also a bit interesting to see these past couple plays. A foul against Hayden Anderson, foul against Givey Gibson, 2 of our seniors. With what an advantageous position Collegiate has here. Kind of interesting to see them make these mentally just stupid errors here, resulting in huge penalties against Collegiate. It almost seems like they don't have a lot to be frustrated about, but they're still making a lot of these really just big mental errors.
Yep, and Ferrales all day and finds. Who is that?
That looks like Gorges.
That looked like Gorges? No, that was Weta.
Weta.
That was Brett Weta. For a gain of about 20, moving the chains. Ball's going to be at about the 47-yard line.
Wow,
Collegiate's
great
47.
catch right there by Weta. He was brought down in midair, still managed to wrangle the ball down with him. Great play by the combination of Weta and Hudson.
And the offensive line did a great job there, giving Hudson a lot of time to throw.
Weta coming off the field there for Roman Harani. But Weta has not been too active on the offense as he's put in a lot of work on defense.
And Ferrales fires incomplete. That was intended for number 23.
Roman Harani
Roman
there.
Harani.
Roman Harani pretty consistently coming out here in later parts of these kind of games where the advantage is pretty far in Collegiate's favor.
And, he's created some good openings for himself. Against Clearwater, he created a nice streak route where, he does his job well. But with this receiving core, we have 2 seniors and Sebastian Hines-Turner.
Ferrales fired to a wide open Gorges on a slant route who just dropped it.
And, it's hard to get in that lineup, too, because we've seen the production that Brett Wetta's had on both sides of the ball, and so is James Shackelford with that pick in the 3 receiving touchdowns.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Spartans. But, you have to know that they're not feeling much pressure here with how their defense has been playing.
Oh, absolutely. If this ball does end up turning in Concordia's favor, I think Collegiate can absolutely feel secure in their defense.
As Ferrales all day fires to Wetta.
Yeah, and
that is Wetta. Again, 2 huge conversions for Wetta on this drive.
Yeah, great catch there, about 15 yards. Starting to use his chest for the reception there. Kind of need to on this cold night right now. We've seen a couple of drops from a couple of stone hand plays, but when your hands are cold out there, it's hard to keep the feeling in them, and to try and make those crazy grabs that we've had a couple of tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It is super cold out here.
Ferrales flushed out, rolling right. Ferrales, and it fell incomplete. He just threw it away.
Bit of a throwaway pass right there. Offense couldn't quite keep those defenders off of him, forcing him, even with a deep drawback, forced away there a bit.
You saw great pressure there by Tracer Murdoch and Riker Wildeman on that Concordia defense, as that D-line was just breaking through holes there. Ferrales really had no time to take a good step in the pocket and throw there. He was forced to the outside and just kind of threw it away.
Julian Johnson in the backfield. We've had a lot of pass plays on this drive, even though Collegiate probably wants to be chewing the clock. And another pass here, Ferrales. Oh, pressure coming. And he just threw it away.
Yeah, we saw that's kind of where Sebastian Hines-Turner was supposed to be on that little hitch route, but started to try and make something happen and move there. But Ferrales couldn't see that happening as he was pressured in the pocket.
Yeah, another throwaway pass right there. A bit of difficulty coming from the Collegiate offensive line. Obviously, this game has really, as we mentioned, come down to the line a bit here. And in this past 2 plays, we've kind of seen a failure to keep those defenders off of Hudson Ferrales.
It will be 3rd and 10 from 37.
Yes, and we see Gibby Gibson coming on the field to join this offensive line at left tackle. Or at left tackle. Sorry.
And again, 4 receivers with Julian in the backfield. Ferrales, another screen to Julian. It was dropped, but even if he caught it, he wasn't going to go anywhere. He actually would have lost yardage if he had caught that. It was a little screen pass to Johnson.
Yeah, it looks like Collegiate offense have really just been snuffed out right here. A couple of difficult plays resulting in a lot of pressure on our quarterback here has resulted in kind of like an extinguishing of the fire here a bit.
Offense staying on the field here on 4th and 10. Granted, they are on the Concordia 38-yard line, but still, it's a big play here.
And it is a pass. Concordia brings pressure. Ferrales, wide open was Brett Wetta. Again, his 3rd major conversion on this drive.
Kind of saw him waving. His defender kind of left him wide open. That ball was all Brett's all day here. Collegiate not really getting hype on the sidelines or here in the stands. It's cold. It's hard. We're seeing people leave here. Kind of Collegiate offense losing a little bit of their power, a little bit of their hype.
Yeah, there's definitely a really small student section now, especially after halftime. A majority of all seniors left.
And Julian Johnson spins into the end zone. Julian Johnson,
wow.
17-yard rush right up the middle.
You could see the gap from up here in their defense. Made his way right up the middle. lightning speed. Defender tried to bring him down, could not quite get him down before he made it right into that end zone. We haven't seen a lot of play time from him tonight, but still managing to impress us up here.
He is limping off the field, though. May have gotten twisted up when he was spinning into the end zone. It does appear that he will be okay, though. Ward Weimer with the extra point. Concordia tried but failed 42-7.
As the
for
clock
Collegiate.
starts to wind down here with 9 minutes left, or about 10 minutes left in this fourth quarter, I think the only goal for Collegiate left today is just to try and put up more points than Rock Creek.
I don't even think that's on Collegiate's mind right now, to be completely honest. I think Collegiate really just, the only job they have left here is to kind of just put up a good showing here, show that they can continue to be consistent even later in these games. It's really important for them not to lose that motivation, not to lose that power, as it can be definitely really easy to, especially, these stands that were once full are now basically been snubbed out to parents and grandparents, really. Unfortunately, it is a cold night. Students, cheerleaders, everybody is kind of just losing a bit of passion here. And you can definitely see that from not only Collegiate, but Concordia as well.
Actually, a large turnout for the Concordia crowd here, actually. That is a lot more than I expected. As Toon booted it away.
Bit of a low kick.
Yeah, low. Fielded at the 25. Wow. Again, the Collegiate special teams allowed him to get all the way up to the 40. That was...
Yeah, not quite a breakaway run here, but definitely picked up a couple more yards than he initially should have. So let's get right into it. Collegiate defense having an amazing showing so far tonight. They might have had just a little bit of difficulty in that first quarter, but ever since then, they have absolutely been impressing us up here.
We see Sebastian Hines-Turner and Marcus Gorges stepping on at corner, as we see Brett Wetta taking a break on the sideline.
And Concordia coach Jordan Ecker takes a timeout here.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing Concordia can do right here is take kind of a bit of advantage of the clock. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left. Kind of let the ball fall into the seniors' hands a little bit. Definitely a sad night for them, as is always in the postseason when it's the last game for some of your seniors. The score now 42-7. Nothing Concordia can do but really give their seniors a last chance to play some football.
Yeah. Both teams in the huddle, and Concordia comes out likely to be in the same formation. Would be shocked if something else happened.
We see some players on the field getting a little excited from the music out here.
And they are in shotgun formation. Oh my goodness. They ran a play that wasn't in. He broke some tackles. Primo. Quarterback draw.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 receivers out there for a QB design run play for a loss of 2 yards. Not too much of a change of pace.
Yeah, definitely a different formation, but definitely not a different change of pace. Collegiate really still holding them to a very slow, very inconsistent yardage.
I was so excited when I saw them line up and something different, but...
Yeah, it looks like coach is subbing in some senior players here, maybe less consistent players, but, at this point in the game, you're going to do everything you can to just get more playing time for those guys.
And, oh my gosh, another different setup. Oh, quarterback. And, no, it was not the quarterback. It was actually number 21, Drake Blocklinger, who got the ball there.
Good trace down by Harrison Simon, but half the defense went the other way following the fake that Hyon was commenting on. I mean, really, it was a split decision.
The defense got lost.
Yeah. I mean, a majority of the team followed the wrong direction.
Yeah, if there's anything Concordia is good at, especially so far tonight, it's the use of a little bit of magic, a little bit of misdirection here, definitely confusing us up here in the box. They're doing a great job of kind of confusing the defense as much as possible.
As, again, a pass play. Wow. He caught a pass.
Man, on a 3rd and 8, it was a nice slant pass, but about a yard short.
That is their first completion to a wide receiver all game.
They'll mark it a first down.
I am astounded. It's almost as if throwing the ball got them more yards on one play than their entire game plan.
That's a really good point right there. That's the most yards they've gotten so far.
And number 21 again, Drake Blocklinger.
No, but I wouldn't count out their one other completion as a touchdown. I mean, that was still a big play for them. The 2 completions, you got to count one of them.
Yeah, and Blocklinger only got about 3 yards there on a run. But if they passed it, I mean, they got 8 yards on that last play.
But I also don't think that's something that they could consistently keep up as, once it happens, once in a quarter, once in a half. I mean, really, that one play is okay.
Yeah, but it's really not unusual to see a high school team really taking advantage of the running play. It's pretty unusual, especially for us to have as qualified as a quarterback as we have. We might be a little spoiled if we think back to last year when we were pretty much running the same strategy.
As Blocklinger, again, there was a botched snap, and he got about 5, kind of salvaged it.
I don't know if qualified was the right word to just describe one quarterback versus our past quarterbacks. However, I would say he's more of a pocket passer, and he does play that position better. But
third and 5 coming up for Concordia. Collegiate crowd getting loud. And, a QB draw that went absolutely nowhere. The defensive line swallowed him up. That was Tristan Sproul there with the stop.
Yeah, kind of seeing some more varsity players out here that don't get quite as much playing time as our typical starting line. Roman Harani, Will Strecker, definitely amazing players for varsity. Just not who we usually see out there.
And Collegiate getting loud again. And Blocklinger. A pass. And it is picked off. Was that Jacob Chappell?
Jacob Chappell there with a great read there. I really don't know who he was passing to, though. There was not a receiver in the area or in the vicinity near him. Jacob Chappell with a great catch there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really do think that pass was just intended for Jacob Chappell. He jumped up and picked that ball right up, and if it wasn't him, it was probably going into the arms of any other collegiate defender. Great play by Jacob Chappell, though, putting Collegiate at a great field position at around the 46-yard line.
Weta does come off the field here for Asa Ahmed. And a flag does fly. Looks like Collegiate, again, another penalty.
Looks like a late substitution against the offense, forcing them back 5 yards. A bit of confusion by the refs and coaches here, but definitely still setting the...
Hayden Anderson there as he was motioning over. I think he went a little early for that block.
Wow, another mental error by one of Collegiate's seniors. Yep, there it is, called out by the refs. Once again, pushing Collegiate back a little bit due to another mental error. We can see a little bit of frustration coming from especially Collegiate's quarterback, Hudson Ferrales, and honestly, rightfully so. Some great playing kind of just being broken up by some just bad mental errors.
And a handoff to Julian Johnson. Oh, he cuts it back. Julian
Wow.
Johnson, he gets a block from Heinz Turner. Johnson, 20, 15, 10, makes a juke.
Oh,
gets
my
all the way down
goodness.
to the 6.
Gets all the way down to 6, but kind of something our eyes were drawn away from. Another late tackle against Hudson Ferrales as he was brought down after the ball was already out of his hands. But no flag is going to be called.
Man, Julian Johnson has been a true game changer for Collegiate.
Truly. I mean, if we're talking about some key players for Collegiate, it is Julian Johnson's name is going to be mentioned every single time without fail.
I mean, we saw him go out early, getting his ankle wrapped up. He thought that he might not play, and then he got it wrapped up on his leg, and he went back in, and he has been powering through the game.
And a handoff to Johnson, and he gets in. Is that his 3rd touchdown of the game? Julian Johnson taking over here for the Spartans.
Yeah, only 4 minutes left. Really, combination Hudson Ferrales and Julian Johnson kind of pulling back from a couple of bad penalties against Collegiate. Really, up here, at least I know I thought putting Collegiate in a really tough spot, but they just made it look easy.
I mean, yeah, and Julian Johnson has been spectacular, but while he was out of the game, Harrison Simon did step up into that role of running back, and he was great in the backfield too.
As the extra point is good there from Ward Weimer, 49-7 with 4:06 left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, a little bit of music out here, trying to keep the crowd in their seats here, trying to keep them at least a little bit warm. Cheerleaders trying to get hype up and moving. We really, I think, Avi, you mentioned it, but I do not see a single senior down there in the student section, kind of calling them out up here. Seniors.
After the band performance while I was coming back up, I saw many seniors leave, including our student body president. As he was telling me as I was leaving, no seniors are left out in the student section.
And Toon boots it away. Fielded at about the 15. And again, kind of broke free, and flags
my
fly
goodness.
again.
Yeah.
Sloppy play here.
Yeah, if you were wondering earlier why we were kind of mentioning the aggression of both these teams, this is why. We're seeing some horrible mental errors here. Well, not horrible, but just flags down on seemingly every single play.
And Concordia's offense likely takes the field for the last time in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 4 minutes may be a lot of time for some teams, but for Concordia, definitely putting them in a bit of a tough spot. Concordia looks like it's going to be a penalty against them, pushing them back.
Yeah, 10-yard holding penalty there. I mean, really trying to make anything out of this drive, but they're going to start off on their own 18-yard line here. Not great field position for them.
And Blocklinger with a draw. Oh, he broke a tackle.
He
How
broke
was
two
he getting
tackles.
free.
Third tackle brings him down.
Jacob Chappell there barely missing a tackle after being blocked there, but Roman Harani coming from behind and making a big tackle there as he steps on as the cornerback.
It will be good enough for a first down, however.
Putting, first and 10 Concordia. But, that's 30 seconds off the clock right there. Still only at about the 28-yard line. putting them in just a battle against the clock for this last touchdown.
You know, as the collegiate defense starts to sub off players, especially in their secondary, it's interesting that they haven't taken their safeties off the field.
And it was a handoff to number 25, Drew Sterrett, and he took it for about 10. That'll be good for a first as well.
As I was saying about our safeties, I mean, we've seen the game that Jack Grace has had with some huge tackles, keeping that defense in the game early on. And James Shackelford, the productivity that he's had on both sides of the ball with the pick and 3 touchdown receptions, I'm surprised that they're not taking him out of the game.
And Blocklinger again there at QB for Concordia. Handoff again to Sterrett. Sterrett has blockers. Sterrett, he is going to get a first down, and he took a couple defenders with him.
Wow, I was about to say he has blockers but no space, but he made space, picking up about 12 yards on that play. As we've kind of been talking about Concordia's slow gameplay, they managed to pick up consistent first downs the past 3 plays, something we haven't seen from them all game. But also, while still mentioning that, they have not been running quite as fast of an offense, now putting it down to 2 minutes left in this game.
And, Blocklinger, he makes about 6 yards.
Yeah, but again,
out of that.
Another tackle by Jacob Chappell there. And just a great play there. And this clock is starting to tick down.
Inside 2 minutes here. And, collegiate families are starting to move out of the stadium.
Yeah, Concordia right now, right here, all they want is just one last touchdown, some gift to give to their seniors here, but they really are in a fight against the clock.
And another handoff, I believe it was to Sterrett again, and he went nowhere. 3rd and long coming up. They lost about 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, and a great tackle there by Dalton Turpin and Roman Harani coming in there for support.
We are looking in at 70 seconds left in the game for Concordia. And Drew Sterrett, the running back for Concordia, does come off the field for what will likely be one of the last few plays run in this game.
As the clock ticks down, about 45 seconds left.
Blocklinger, and he just goes down. It'll be about a 4th and 5 left. 40 seconds left. We'll see what they do.
With the time left in this game, Concordia, I really don't understand what the coach is doing right now, why he's talking with his players. Really, what they need to do right now is just to get a couple quick plays off.
20 seconds left. And you think a shot to the end zone is worth it here?
Worth it? Probably gonna happen. Probably not.
And it is a pass play.
Yeah, I mean,
Blocklinger. It is a shot to the end zone. And it is picked. He batted it down. James Shackelford had it, but he didn't want to risk anything. So just
Shackelford had the chance to get another pick there, but you already had one today and thought that was enough for him. But with that, the clock will stop with about 4 seconds left for Concordia to make one more play.
Yeah, as we kind of wind down here, amazing showing by Collegiate. Obviously, we talked a little bit about their shortcomings today, but additionally, their defense has probably had one of the best games we've ever seen them have this entire season. As for this last play, Collegiate puts out a couple of players we don't see get a lot of time here on the field.
Ferrales is in victory formation.
Yeah.
And he takes the knee. And with that, Collegiate moves into the second round of the 3A state playoffs for Kansas.
Wow. Amazing job by Collegiate today. Definitely one of the best games we've seen them play so far. As we kind of wind down, I'm very interested to see, a lot of our recent players of the game didn't have quite as much game time here today. I'm super interested to hear your guys' players of the game. Let's start with you, Ion.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is obvious. Julian Johnson. I mean, he had about 70 receiving yards in that one very long play that Collegiate had. He definitely had over 100 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns for Julian Johnson. I just think he was sensational tonight, and he was the driving force for the Collegiate offense.
I have to say my player of the game was entirely, without a doubt, James Shackelford, doing it on both sides of the ball. He had one pick there that was just a great read there. And, I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, early on he had that bobbled pass that ended up in an interception, but he bounced back immediately after that on offense, ending the game with 3 touchdown receptions and over 125 yards.
I'm going to give this player of the game to a player I don't think has been mentioned a single time in our players of the games, especially because he plays mostly defensively. But I'm going to hand it to the one, the only Jacob Chappell. He has had an absolutely amazing game so far today, setting the Concordia offense back just a little bit, forcing some sacks, forcing some negative yardage, and I think his name was probably said the most out of any senior tonight, for better or for worse. I'm definitely going to hand my player of the game to Jacob Chappell.
Yeah, and I love that pick by Aiden there. I mean, Chap was in there on every defensive play of the game. Even though we didn't see him as much as we wanted to on kickoff, like he has usually been a staple there, he was great on defense tonight.
And thank you guys for listening in to our WCS broadcast of the Collegiate Spartans versus Concordia Panthers. And we'll see you next week for Collegiate in the second round of the 3A state playoffs. Thank you.